godforsaken places on the face of the earth, 4 miles away. No, we're not going to stop at the casino. I'm glad you're asleep, sweetheart. Precious. Ha! We should have left the dog back home. It's sticking its head out the window like it's done the whole trip. I have no intention of stopping at that casino and losing and blowing our money. We're off to get a new start. We're trying to get somewhere to get a new start. So I'm just going to let you sleep. Oh, jeez. There goes the radiator. God damn, of all the fucking bad luck. Right out here in the middle of nowhere, right near MERGATROID, the craziest town on the planet of the earth, with living paper dolls, serial killers that claim 22 victims and then get shot on TV at a wedding. I mean, how crazy of a town is it? I sure don't want to be stuck here. Oh, here we are, stranded on the highway. I guess I'm going to have to wake you up anyway. Looks like there's a house over there. Maybe we can get some help there. Wake up, sweetheart. Wake up. The car broke down. It's the radiator. I told you we should have fixed it.
Oh my God, Merrick. Where the hell are we? You've got to go get help. We can't be stuck here on the highway in the middle of nowhere. Why didn't you charge your cell phone up before we took off? Jesus Christ. Look, there's a house right over there. Leave the dog here with me. I don't want to be stuck in the car here all by myself. I mean, maybe I can walk with the dog behind you or something.
Hello there. Hey, you couple. Y'all best come in. Hear all that rain, that thunder? Y'all don't need to be outside in this stuff. What happened? Did your car break down? Everybody around here just calls me Uncle Frank. I see the little dog there with you is going to get wet, too. You might as well bring it in, too. Don't sit down and dry out and watch TV or whatever. My wife, they call her Aunt Suki. She's up there in town doing her new shindig. You know, she wrote and directed that new Phantom of the Opry. I don't know if y'all heard about it or not. It's a satire, kind of a comedy kind of a thing, you know, and all like that. So anyhow, if y'all need help with your car, I'll be more than happy. I'm kind of handy around with things like that, and I imagine I can get it running tonight. Where y'all headed to?
Thank you. Thank you so much for your hospitality, Uncle Frank. Yes, my boyfriend here didn't bother to charge up his cell phone before we took off on the road, and he didn't fix the radiator either. Thank you for letting us come in out of the rain and for letting our dog come in also. We really appreciate your help.
Yes, Uncle Frank. I appreciate you letting us come in and dry off. And yeah, she's right. Damn it. Trish is always right. I should have charged up my cell phone. Should have got the radiator fixed before we took off. Here I am stranded 4 miles from MERGATROID. Yes, this is what they call flat out. I don't know. I heard nothing but weird tales about MERGATROID, everything from walking paper dolls to serial killers. But thank you for letting us dry off, and maybe we can get my radiator fixed before dark. Thank you, Uncle Frank. Well, as heavy as this rain and all, I don't think we can work on that radiator till the rain quits. Y'all just as well if you sit there by the fireplace and dry off, and a little dog there can dry off too. I'll go in there and get the dog and part of the pork chop I got left over in the ice box. I'm keeping my triple for my late night snack. But y'all just have a seat there in front of the fireplace. I'll be right back with that pork chop for the dog.
This is a CRZY News Bulletin. The body of the MERGATROID serial killer, Eric Niedermeyer, is missing from the medical examiner's office. Speculations range along the lines of angry family members of one of the many slain victims having stolen the body for revenge purposes to the possibility of macabre trophy hunters having stolen the body. Lieutenant Skitters announced that no measures to recover the body or identify the ghoulish culprits will be taken. He went on to explain, in a press conference earlier today, that he felt that MERGATROID had already suffered enough grief with the more than 22 victims in the past 4 years, and that the faster the whole thing can be closed, the faster the healing process for MERGATROID can move forward. In other news today, Vincini stock again rallied with the huge box office success of the new hit movie Zombie War Apocalypse at the Vincini Tripleplex theaters.
Yeah, if this rain ever quits, we'll go out there and I'll fix y'all's radiator. I heard a noise out back. Y'all just sit still there by the fireplace. I reckon I'm gonna grab my shotgun and go out back and check things out. You'd be amazed at the weird crap I seen slithering and wandering around in the woods. It's a lot of that old chemicals from the Vincini cosmetic place. They dump them in the creek there, and it rolls and washes on down there by that biotech lab. And I've seen some weird stuff out there before, and wouldn't nobody believe me. Thought about calling in on some of these call-in radio talk shows and telling them about it, but they think I'm crazy. Hell, half the flat town of MERGATROID probably already saying some crazy. And yeah, I'm going to go out here and check that noise out. Y'all just sit still there. I've got my shotgun. Everything's going to be all right. It'll be all right. Thank you.
So here we are stranded in the middle of nowhere at some man's house who is a complete stranger, and he's gone off in the woods with a shotgun chasing after some strange noise that he just heard. Honey, I think we need to get out of here at once. Let's just go back to the car. I don't care if it is raining, we can sit in the car until someone stops and helps us get the car running. I just do not feel safe here. I just don't feel safe at all, honey. Waitress. Get your skinny ass over here. Don't you know who we are? How the hell do you expect a tip for service like this? My damn salad tasted like it was at least a week old, and there's not enough ice in this glass of iced tea to even get it cold. Oh, and the vegetables were all way too salty, and my husband the mayor here has high blood pressure. Are you idiots here trying to kill the poor man? This may be the last time we ever eat here, and believe me, if we stop coming, so will the rest of MERGATROID. And my husband's poor excuse of a steak was the most ridiculous thing I have ever seen in my life. If you can call that a steak. I wouldn't feed that thing to my dog. Get it together before I call Gordon Ramsay up on the phone and send him down here to chew you fools out. You know my husband and I are personal friends with the man. No, of course you idiots wouldn't know that. This is a dump, not a high-class restaurant.
What was I thinking? What was I thinking?
Damn it, Martha, now you know why I never take you anywhere. You just complain. Hell, if I knew you was just going to complain all night, we could have stayed home and let the maid fix something, for God's sakes. I'm dropping $50 or more here in this restaurant, and all you're doing is complaining. It won't be the vegetables that cause me to have a heart attack. It'll be listening to you complain. You complain since the day we're married. If I don't have enough stuff at work driving me crazy, causing me to almost have a heart attack, I mean, between serial killers and people being shot at weddings and this damn paper doll walking around and this time travel mess, there's constantly some kind of mess going on, don't you realize that? And there's people breathing down my neck, putting me under pressure all the time. Last thing I need is my wife going out to dinner and complaining. Every time you turn around, yell, right, complaining constantly. I don't know what's wrong with you, Martha. This is the last time I'll ever take you out to dinner.
Margie, thanks for meeting me here at Drifty's and thanks for the coffee. So, girlfriend, have I got some stuff to tell you? Oh boy do I. First of all, some guy inhaled too much of the Slide E2 cologne in the bottling line and he literally collapsed. I just passed out and fell down on the floor. And everyone is like, gee whiz, what on earth do they put in that stuff anyway? I mean, my God, remember a few years ago when Judy Vincini was putting that low-level acid in the face cream? I mean, my God, they had televised Senate hearings about that stuff. So anyway, I quit working at Vincini Cosmetics last week, but I managed to get on over at the paper doll factory. Man, that Japanese guy that runs the place is something else. I got on as a desk girl in his outer office and I ended up bringing him coffee the other day inside his office, and my God, he was decked out in a samurai suit and practicing with a samurai sword. Scared the hell out of me. But oh my God, does he worship his daughter? Oh boy, does he. He has pictures of her all over his office and all over the paper doll factory too. I swear to God, girl, they are on every wall all over the place.
Hey Sandra, hey Margie, here's you both a triple Drifty's sausage biscuit and another cup of Vincini Ultra Deluxe Triple Star Gourmet Coffee. Enjoy your breakfast here at Drifty.
Good evening, viewers and listeners both. This is Les Tomac. Glad to be back from a honeymoon vacation. As you know, Imogene and I were away in Paris, France on our honeymoon, but it's great to be back here in MERGATROID and back here tonight hosting Dark and Deep, which, as you know, is simulcast both here on the television at CRZY as well as on a radio station, so you can listen to it on the radio and call in, or you can call in while watching it on TV. And of course, all of you viewers and callers and listeners already know that your phone call is aired live right here on Les Tomac Dark and Deep show, as well as on the radio show. So, I guess we're ready to start a show. It is open mic. I'm not going to bore you with details about our honeymoon in Paris. I'll do a special Les Tomac show about that. But you're free to call in again and talk about any relevant news topic, any local event, any major event, anything. Just call in. We're ready to take your calls. And it looks like we have a caller right now on line 1. Go ahead, caller.
Well, obviously, I wish to remain anonymous during this call, but I am one of the thousands of women nationwide who had her face scarred by that Vincini face cream a few years ago. How in the hell Judy Vincini got away with putting that low-level acid in the face cream is beyond me. And that class action lawsuit. Well, I was part of that, and I will not disclose the small settlement that I received, but I will tell you that it was downright insulting. It won't even come close to touching the pain and suffering I endured the past several years. I have been to 4 different dermatologists and they all tell me that there is nothing they can do, that I will just have to live with it. Well, I wonder how Judy Vincini can live with herself knowing what she did. You would have thought those televised Senate hearings would have done her in, but she ended up getting romantically involved with Senator Quint and that relationship somehow protected her, I guess. Then he got shot, of course, a tragedy, to be sure. But she's still just waltzing around like nothing ever happened. And then it turned out her out of wedlock son that she wouldn't claim and didn't even raise turned out to be the MERGATROID serial killer. My God, what a madhouse. I think MERGATROID itself has gone insane. It's all just nuts, just absolutely nuts. That's all I have to say for now. Thanks for taking my call and having me on here. Goodbye for now.
Dear Les, thank you for taking my call. My name is Bradson and I'm going to call it straight as I see. I study history and anthropology, especially Native American Indian history, and I would like to bring something up that I ran across in my research. As you know, the Tiwakanani Indian tribe fled this area nearly 400 years ago when the nearby religious fanatics of Flat Town were going after them to try to destroy them. Anyway, I ran across where the shaman, the high priest, the medicine man, what have you, of the Tiwakanani Indians actually placed a curse, yes that's right, a curse, upon this whole Antwerp area. So to be honest with you, I think all of the bad stuff, the living paper doll Flashy, that wooden creature, MERGATROID burning to the ground and having to be rebuilt, even the MERGATROID serial killer and all his victims, I think all of that is a result of the curse that was placed upon MERGATROID by that Indian shaman. Now that's my theory. So I've said what I have to say. Les, peace out. Peace out, everybody. Later.
MERGATROID serial killer. MERGATROID serial killer. My name is Eric. Eric.
Eric, oh Eric. Did the TV wake you up? Here, I cooked up a pizza while you were asleep. Wake up and enjoy. Here's some Vinci Pop to wash it down with. And hey, I got you some of those Vincini mental alert pills to help you get your memory back. Here, take on now Eric, take one now.
I got another Vincy Pop in the fridge too if you want another one in a few minutes.
The audio files presented here were discovered in the apartment of Apron Head after his suicide through self-immolation as he burned down the paper dough factory. The identities of the mental patients remain unknown, but paperwork which accompanied the cassettes indicated that they were former patients of Dr. Flipshire in Flattown and that both women had committed suicide and each had no known relatives. Dr. Flipshire agreed upon the release of these audio files to the public, and we present them here now in their raw, graphic form.
I'm as nutty as a fruitcake. I'm crazy. Hurt somebody else disease, I'm going to get hurt too. Which is what happened this last time. We don't get any peace of mind if I don't get revenge. I'm as nutty as a fruitcake. I'm crazy. When I wrecked the truck, I was thinking that my doctor finally tried to get suicide, but I don't believe I did. I was just driving fast on gravel road. Let's face it, I don't exactly conduct my life according to what society deems acceptable, now do I? I'm suddenly got this evil little urge just to drive right into the front of his office. And I just... I'm as nutty as a fruitcake. One thing you can't accuse me of is being dull or stupid. Really shouldn't mess with me. Bow down, grovel at the cold mother's feet.
Memoirs of Judy Vincini, an audio presentation of Vincini Media Enterprises. I was born in the early 1960s to a very successful and loving father, Vincent Vincini, who was very kind but also very controlling. I was spoiled and spared no luxury, as they say, but I was also groomed to run his cosmetics empire from a very early age. It was understood that I would one day be in charge of Vincini Cosmetics. Here's an excerpt from my early childhood of a TV appearance my dad made on the Les Tomac show, and of course he brought me along with him.
Little Judy. She liked to put a little bit of her Play-Doh into the jar of Vincini face cream. And sometime she liked to put a little bit of sand, off into the jar of Vincini face cream, She always liked to add something to the face.
In my late teens, I became involved with a young man who belonged to a motorcycle gang, much to the disapproval of my powerful and controlling father. I became pregnant, but when the two boys were born they were quickly given up for adoption and I never got an opportunity to visit or raise them, as I was immediately, when I turned 18, thrust into the family cosmetic business. Here's another sound clip from your another appearance on the Les Tomac show, only this time I am all grown up and working at Dad's Cosmetic Corporation.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are viewers at home. We welcome Judy Vincini here. She is the owner and CEO of the Vincini Cosmetics Corporation right here in MERGATROID. Of course, it's national in its influence and its distribution. It's a major cosmetic company, and you may recall 10 years ago when Judy was still just a little girl, I had her father, Vincent Vincini, the founder of the company, here on my show. And today, all grown up and in charge of the company, we have Judy Vincini. So, Judy, tell us, how did this new Elastaflux ingredient in the Ultra Deluxe Triple Star Face Cream come into being? What is Elastaflux?
Well, as I am sure you recall, Les, my beloved father, Vincent Vincini was on your show back in 1969, and he joked about how I would put Play-Doh in jars of Vincini face cream. Well, when I grew up and took over the company, I got to thinking, hey, skin is kind of like putty or dough, and if our brilliant scientists at Vincini could come up with an ingredient that would gently pull and tug at your skin, well, that would do wonders for any woman's complexion and would eliminate wrinkles and keep your face fresh and young looking and glowing. So I talked to some of our research team and the Vincini lab execs of a new ingredient.
Hi Eric. I am so glad you are back. Where on earth have you been? Anyway, I cooked us a late night pizza snack. It's there on the coffee table. I couldn't find the pizza cutter, but there's a knife there you can cut it with. While you are doing that, I am going to go take a quick shower. Then I will sit down with you and have some pizza and another Vinci Pop. Don't worry, I won't be in the shower very long. I'll be out in
Sun
a
here at
jiffy.
CRZY News, and we have with us as our guest today Dr. Flipsher of Flattown, who will be discussing what he calls the psychological breakdown of society and MERGATROID in particular. Welcome to the show, Dr. Flipsher.
Thank you there, Mellison. I'm glad to be here again. Yeah, this is Dr. Flipper here from down, and most of your viewers, I'm sure, recall when I was on here a year and a half, 2 years ago, whenever Akron had burned down the paper doll factory and then committed suicide, and I was commenting then on the mental state of Akron Head. Well, today I'm going to comment on the mental state of MERGATROID. I think there's going to be more and more of this type of thing that y'all have seen here. If you'll recall, after Akron had burned down the paper doll factory and killed himself, all of a sudden then, the serial killer began to strike. Well, of course, the serial killer turned out to be Akron Head's brother, as we now know, and was slain at the wedding of Les Pomack and Imogen Sakowski, but now somebody has stolen the body of the MERGATROID serial killer. I predict there's going to be copycat killers and more chaos, because I think what we're witnessing is the mental breakdown of society. I'm going to call it the psychological breakdown of MERGATROID. That's what we're all witnessing, and things are going to continue, I believe, to get
Allow
worse
me,
before they get
Dr. Flipsher, to correct one of your statements. As a reporter here at CRZY who followed the MERGATROID serial killer's rampage from its very beginning some 4 years ago, I would like to clarify that the MERGATROID serial killer had already claimed many victims before Akron Head did his dirty deeds. So let's be clear about that. Now it can be argued, perhaps, that the serial killer, Eric Niedermeyer, escalated his slayings after the suicide death of his brother Akron Head, but in the interests of accuracy, let's be clear about the facts here. Dr. Flipsher.
Bulletin alert.
Thank you.
News Bulletin alert. This is Ronson Kilroy at CRZY News. We interrupt this program to bring you the following breaking news. The body of a young woman has been discovered behind the Super Deluxe grocery store tonight. Surveillance footage from the store cameras aimed at the back alley captured the event, and Lieutenant Skitters had this to say about what the surveillance footage reveals about the crime.
deceased victim discovered here This is Lieutenant Skitters with the MERGATROID Homicide Division. I'm in charge of the serial killer case. This appears to be a copycat killer, seeing as how I saw and personally identified the MERGATROID serial killer's death at the wedding of Les Tomac and Imogen Sukowski. I will say this, the surveillance camera and the perpetrator appears to be the same height, weight, and appearance of Eric Niedermeyer, and if I did not know that he was dead, I would say that it was the same individual. The surveillance camera also, sadly, recorded the dismemberment of Flashy the Paper Doll by this killer, and then a young, as yet unidentified skateboarder whom we believe to be Timothy Lawrenson came along and taped Flashy back together and put her in a grocery cart and took off with her. So he left the scene of the crime, this young skateboarder, and he took the other victim, Flashy the Paper Doll, with him. We do not know where he took her, where this young skateboarder is, but we want to question him further, obviously, as quickly as possible for additional information on anything he saw or heard, or additional description and information he can give us on the perpetrator on this new apparent copycat killer. And this was Lieutenant Skitters. That's all I have to say at this moment.
See the gorgeous striptease queens in action as they display their charms. Is every man's dream girl. Their sexy seconds to every minute as the dancers strip to please is every man's dream girl. See the gorgeous striptease queens in action as they display their charms. See the daring display of torso.
To MERGATROID's original award-winning Late movie right here on CRZY. See the best in rare and obscure cult motion pictures right here on the Late movie. Tonight's classic feature film is Night of Unspeakable Horror, directed by Anastas Bulamai and starring Valeria Colterson and Princely Forestman. So sit back, grab your late-night snacks and get ready for frightening late-night entertainment from your station of stations, CRZY of MERGATROID City.
KRZY Television presents a special documentary tribute to the late Senator Anderson Quint, The Life of Senator Anderson Quint.
The shooting took place on the parking lot of the Prime Deluxe Ultra Hotel. Senator Quint had stepped out of his limousine. Those of you from MERGATROID City and Flat Town may recall some of the highlights of the late Senator Quint's career. The chairman of the House Senate Committee in the opening of the which investigated the Vincini Cosmetics Corporation. And he later became the love interest of Judy Vincini.
Breaking news from the MERGATROID City Police Department, where Lieutenant Skitters is about to hold a press conference about the arrest of the alleged assassin of the late Senator Quint. And we take you now to the press conference.
With evidence directly connects this gentleman to the assassination of Senator Quint. He is directly connected to the high-powered telepathic route. The funeral of Senator Quint.
The hearts of my fellow citizens. You can never be replaced. I enjoyed a close personal relationship with the senator, and all of you were touched by his charm and his grace. May his memory and influence live on in all of us. MERGATROID.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are here with the wildly talented Rich Vernadeau of Crazy Insane Radio, the series. All right, we're going to be interviewing him for just a short time to see what he has to say about his spinoff. So, I hear you have a spinoff series. How will it be different from Crazy Insane Radio?
Well, first of all, thank you for asking, and I'm glad that you enjoyed my original series, Crazy Insane Radio. This new series, which is called MERGATROID After Dark, the MERGATROID Chronicles, has a slower pace, greater focus, and greater attention to a different kind of detail in terms of more suspense. It's going to be more of creating a mood, and so basically I'm just kind of changing things up slightly in that regard. I'm going to do a slower, more in-depth approach, more of a character-driven approach on this one. You'll like it because it will be so different from the other one, which, of course, I hope you like and continue to like the other one as well. As far as it being character-driven, that's what one of the main things about the new series is going to be, and one of the main ways in which it's going to differ from the other one. The first one, Crazy Insane Radio, is plot-driven and surprise event-driven. On this one, it's going to be more slow development of people.
Sounds good. All right, well, will many of our favorite and main characters from Crazy Insane Radio cross over at any point?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I will occasionally have crossovers of the main major characters from the original series briefly into this new series, but the episode will not necessarily center on them. Think of this as being done from the point of view of the average person who lives in MERGATROID who happens to be outside and sees Flashy the paper doll walking down the sidewalk, or picks up their paper and reads about the serial killer, but then goes and fixes dinner, and life goes on for them.
I see. Is there anything else you'd like to add about Crazy Insane, or the new one that you're doing?
Oh, yes. One of the things is I'm going to be attempting to introduce a whole different set of characters, as I was talking about. And these characters are not part of the main action in the other series, although they see and hear and might be impacted by some of it. This will be more along the lines of, say, Imogene's secretary at the TV station, Mayor Paransky's chauffeur, the janitor who cleaned Les Tomac's office, the waitress who hands Senator Devane his steak. This series is going to focus on not the movers and shakers of Murgatroyd as the other one does, but the average citizen. But the setting, Murgatroyd, is the same. Some of the storylines will slightly intersect and interconnect. It's a challenge I've created for myself. Yes, I'm very excited. It is trying to show how the average citizens react to the madness of Murgatroyd, whether it's corrupt senators and mayors, walking, talking paper dolls, serial killers, whatever. You see, even the original is a lot deeper than it appears on the surface. Many of the episodes are veiled social commentary on current events. So in a sense, these everyday characters in the new series represent you and I dealing with what's going on in today's world.
Well, that is indeed different, but I can tell you right now that I'm excited, and I'm sure all of the followers right now are incredibly excited. Is there anything else?
Yeah, I would just like to wrap up this interview by saying that, yes, it should be fun. It allows me to branch out in new and different directions creatively. And I want to urge anyone who's already watching Crazy Insane Radio on my YouTube channel to go ahead and start watching this one. If you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, it's Rich Vernadeau on YouTube. And you can look it up, Google it easily. Go inside YouTube and search for Crazy Insane Radio. Go inside YouTube and search for Murgatroyd After Dark, the Murgatroyd Chronicles.
Well, I love it already, and I know that all of your fans are going to love it, and I look forward to more and more and more of it. And, you know, I really appreciate your time. Thank you very much. You know, it was great to have you here, and I loved learning about the new series.
Well, I definitely appreciate being a guest, and thank you very much for interviewing me.